MLB.com/bark.
Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Kansas City Royals.
Royals baseball tonight from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City for Game 2 between the Royals and the White Sox. And this series is presented by Flight by Yingling. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Jeremy Guthrie. I'm Ryan Lefevre in our City Connect jackets.
You look good tonight.
Not as good as you look. Joel will have more on that in just a moment. The Royals have lost their last 3 games. They've scored just 3 runs, 11 hits over that stretch, and yet at the same time, it feels like they're not really overmatched at the plate.
Well, I think that's the point. They're still hitting the ball hard. I know you want to see base hits, but they're second in Major League Baseball in average exit velocity. Clearly, they've had struggles with runners in scoring position, but these guys have a track record. You know Salvi, Vinny, Bobby Witt Jr., who you see is starting to heat up. You know they're going to come around, and so you just hope it's sooner than later.
But the Royals are 0 for their last 23 with runners in scoring position, and they just simply have to score more runs, and we hope that happens tonight. And if you think Jeremy and I look good in pink, wait until you see Joel, who has more on the history of the new City Connect uniforms.
Break out the brand new City Connects, and Matt Quattrero stepping on the field for batting practice today in them. And whether the guys had the bright colors or the white, and yes, they look great in their whites, and those are the guys that are on the bench or sitting right here have the bright coats as well. Come on, Ryan and Jay Guts have those as well. These have been in the works for a couple of years, and finally a chance to debut them. We've seen plenty of versions over the years, more recently the City Connects and the different uniforms over the years, dating all the way back to 1969.
The Royals 2026 City Connect uniforms honor a community built on pride, resilience, and the belief that the best days are still ahead. The uniform stands as a symbol of who we are, what we represent, and a future committed to winning, today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. Its colors flow from the swirling pinks of a Midwestern sunset to the blues of the water in Kansas City's more than 200 fountains. The gradient celebrates the iconic City of Falmouth logo adopted by City Hall in 1991. The Royals R logo nods to our original 1969 mark,
That new look is your team, the young and exciting Kansas City Royals.
Blending the roots of our past with a fresh, modern tradition. The heart reflects our role as the nation's heartland, a name earned not just for our location, but also for the character of our people and our unique brand of KC pride. And with touches that showcase the city's Art Deco architecture style and the Beatles' famous Hey, 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 Hey that rocked the stadium after every win, we showcase the city and the team's rich tradition while tipping our hat to the future. Forever Kansas City, forever the Royals, forever Fountains.
I know this much, the players love them. They'll love them even more if they win in them tonight. You go back to 69 and then through the 70s, look at split there. And the look, so much of the white and the blue, and it evolved into the 90s. And more recently, we've seen the different variations. And now we break out with something new tonight, unlike we have ever seen before. The brand new City Connects, and whether they be Danny Duffy and Salvador Perez, the white, the powder blue, the last City Connects, and now the vibrant colors here in 2026. The Royals set to make their debut in them, and they are hoping to break that 3-game losing streak. These jerseys selling like hotcakes in a team store. Baseball coming up next from Kauffman Stadium.
Flight.
Depot.
Kansas City Royals baseball is presented by your Kansas City Toyota dealers. Take a test drive today and save bucks on trucks. And by FanDuel Sportsbook. Play your game. It's a chilly night, but we're lucky to be playing based on what the forecast was coming into this series. White Sox won last night with just 2 runs on 5 hits. They got a double from Colson Montgomery in the 4th, a sac fly from Luis Angel Acuna in the 7th, and tonight they add Lenin Sosa as the designated hitter, who had 22 home runs for the White Sox last year.
They'll face Chris Bubich, left-handed starter for the Kansas City Royals. Hey, 3rd start on the season. Last one, pretty unhappy with the way it went. He felt he was erratic. Not real happy with the outing, but looking to bounce back tonight in the new City Connect uniforms. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud shows his arsenal this season. The 4-seam fastball has above average spin. He'll rely on it to get ahead. He will also use it to finish off hitters, getting league high good whiff rate on that 4-seam fastball. Behind Bubic defensively, Isaac Collins will be in left field. Kyle Isbell in center field, Jack Caglione in right, Michael Garcia, third base, Bobby Witt Jr. shortstop, Michael Massey, his first start at second base this season, Vinny Pasquantino at first, and Salvi behind the dish.
Here's our umpiring crew, and that is 28-year veteran Marvin Hudson, the crew chief at third base. Trip Gibson's in his 14th year. Ryan Blakeney is in season number 8. And Nick Marley at second base, who served our country in the Air Force, is in season number 6. All right, Chris Bubic, I would think number 1, Jeremy, for any start, but particularly coming off of Sunday against Milwaukee, wants more first pitch strikes.
Oh yeah, just 11 of 22 first pitch strikes, 50%, well below his average and league average. So wants to get ahead, wants to finish them off, and ultimately wants to finish the innings off.
Chase Mydroth is after the first pitch and fouls it away. He was 1 for 4 last night. One and one. Mydroth came over from Boston in the deal for Garrett Crochet, so he's hoping for his first full big league season. Kyle Teal was the catcher that came over in the same trade, and he's on the injured list right now. And meanwhile, Crochet has been even better for the Red Sox than he was for the White Sox.
Oh, virtually unhittable. One of the most dominant left-handed pitchers in the league, right along with Tarek Skubal. You see right there, they brought a haul over for Garrett Crochet. These are players the White Sox are depending on now and plan on depending on for years to come.
And you never know. You take a pitcher or a position player that's talented from a team that's losing with no pressure on a winning team with a whole lot of pressure. You don't know how they're going to respond.
Well, he has responded very well, and no looking back, I don't think, for either of those Sox ball clubs.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That is outside in, and Salvi's going to challenge.
Previous call was the ball. The catcher is challenging.
Salvi's asking Mydroth, do you think that was out? Yeah, good call, Salvi.
Call's overturned and it's a strike. Kansas City has the count.
So instead of 3 and 2, Bubic begins the night with a strikeout.
Well, it's a fortunate turn of events for the pitcher. Could have been 3-2s, you said, Rhino. It's a good slider backdoor. Bubic tells you right there he thought he got it as well, so he and Salvi on the same page with that challenge. And that's one with 2 strikes, men on base. Those become situations that I think both catchers and hitters are more likely to challenge. We've seen that thus far.
Miguel Vargas takes a strike. He scored one of the 2 runs last night. Reaching with a walk. 0-2.
Well, so far so good. Oh, sorry, Ryan.
I was going to say, coming off a big year, but off to a slow start. But that applies to a lot of players this time of year.
Well, yeah. You look up and down lineups, Guardians, Royals, White Sox, you'll see quite a few averages below where they will finish.
1-2. You were saying.
Just saying that first 2 hitters we talked about, first pitch strikes, 2 good fastballs for strikes to start off each at bat.
Two balls, 2 strikes. All right, if I told you, Jeremy, when you were pitching tonight, you are going to be 2 outs and nobody on in every single inning. Fouled away by Vargas. You would say?
It would be a good outing. That should be one that you look back on and say, I dominated.
Well, for Chris Bubic, and you have to give the Brewers some credit, they're a good offense, but he was 2 outs and nobody on in all 5 innings, and they still scratched across 4 runs.
Well, yeah, each of the 3 walks came with 2 outs, nobody on. A couple of big swings in the other innings, and all of those runs, of course, scored with 2 outs. So first task is get the second out right here against Vargas.
Foul ball came up and got him, but he was still in the box.
And then I think we'll see Bubic be a little bit more aggressive with that third hitter, especially if he can get the 2 outs to start the inning. Expect to see him get ahead.
And that third hitter is Munetaka Murakami, who batted second in last night's game. That is an 8-pitch walk, and the White Sox have 1 on with 1 out. And of the 3 walks that Jeremy was talking about that Bubic gave up in his last start, 2 of those came around to score. And last night, while the White Sox only scored 2 runs, how did those 2 runners reach? By way of a walk. Inside edge and strike 1 on Murakami. So he is 3 for 3 in first pitch strikes. One and one. There is an identifiable Japanese batting stance.
Oh, there certainly
They
is.
all have their hands way out away from their body, and they'll have some sort of a leg kick.
Yeah, and it's a timing mechanism for them. They like to use that leg kick as the pitcher comes to his balance point. Some of them are more exaggerated than others. Shohei Ohtani, when he came over, had a really big leg kick, actually switched over to more of a toe tap or kind of a rotation on that front toe. But the hitting philosophy throughout Japan is deep and traditional, and most of the hitters, you'll see them hit in a very similar fashion.
2-2. It's rooted in martial arts, just balance, body control. Even the pitchers, with nobody on base especially, will be slow and deliberate with their gathering points.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was over in Uganda this offseason. Met a bunch of pitchers coached by Japanese coaches living in Africa, and each of them threw very similar to a traditional Japanese pitcher with that pause up over the rubber. It's just a fascinating way, and it's proven to be very, very effective. Obviously, this year was the first year that Team Japan, the Team Samurai, did not make the finals of the World Baseball Classic. They have 3 championships and had been in the championship round and game in each of those previous tournaments up until this season.
Slider got him looking. 2 down.
Good pitches by Chris Bubic throughout the at-bat, able to get ahead with a slider, stretched it off the plate, 0-1, showed him some pitches down, and then was able to go right back where he started. Freezes Murakami because of the location of that slider.
So 2 down with a runner at first. This will be pitch number 20 for Bubic. And Edgar Caro takes inside, ball 1. He'd been off to a slow start, but as the number 7 hitter last night, he had 2 hits.
Made his first opening day start this season behind the dish in Milwaukee back on March 26th.
Salvi, as always, blocks it and keeps it in front of him. 2-0. It's not just the uniforms. The Royals are decked out in City Connect accessories.
Oh yeah, you see Salvador Perez's Rawlings gear. You'll notice the gold glove patch in the middle, but has that gradient dropping from blue down to the pinkish, purplish, grapish color.
Yeah, I said pink, but the correct color on the palette is vibrant grape.
Well, you know what? It's quickly
Correct,
becoming,
at least what we're wearing.
quickly becoming one of my new favorite colors. I really do enjoy those colors, so I wear them often. But you know what else? There's some other features too. You notice the socks, the stance socks that Chris Bubic is wearing with the crown. as well as the gradient.
Jammed him. And Collins comes up and makes the play. So the White Sox are scoreless, and here come the Royals in the bottom of the first against Davis Martin. So there are the City Connect uniforms. Here's the Royals lineup tonight, and I think the most popular item right now is the batting helmet. That's where we've been getting the most oohs and ahs from the players.
Well, it does have a little pop to it. Hope to be seeing a lot of that batting helmet running around the bases this evening. But it does look good. I like the logo too. The old school crown logo. Davis Martin makes his third start for the White Sox, and he was very good in his last one against the Blue Jays. Went 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, 6 strikeouts. You see right there on the season a 2.45 ERA. Been throwing the ball very well for this White Sox team, and he's going to fill in for Sam Smith, their opening day starter, already optioned down to AAA, so the White Sox will lean on their young pitching this season.
Strike one on Michael Garcia, who was on base 3 more times last night. He had 2 hits, a walk, and one of his outs was a line out to center field. Right to the shortstop, Montgomery. And one away in the bottom of the first.
Let's take a look at the White Sox defense behind Martin this evening. You saw right there the young Colson Montgomery at shortstop, Miguel Vargas at third, Chase Meidroth at second base, Munetaka Murakami at first, Derek Hill in right field tonight, Luis Angel Acuna in center, Tanner Murray in left field, and Edgar Caro back behind the dish.
Want to know on Junior, he had 2 hits last night and another hard hit out. He has a 22-game hitting streak against the White Sox. Even with the loss last night, the Royals have still won 26 of 33 from Chicago, and they had beaten them 14 in a row here at Kauffman Stadium. That ended last night, and that is the longest losing streak in White Sox history in one venue. This is a team that goes back to 1901. They had never lost 14 in a row in one stadium away from home.
We'll break it down into series, right? Typically a 3-game series, maybe 4-game series. So you're talking 4.5 sweeps consecutively in one location. That's tough for the Royals to have played that well, that consistently against one team. And on the flip side, it's tough to see yourself losing that many games in a row to one individual team. See Bobby Witt right here, able to hold back, and Bobby matching his Under Armour cleats to the uniform a little bit right there as well. Should take note of the different cleats that everyone will be wearing tonight.
He goes the other way, and it's slicing, but it's right at Hill. 97 off the bat, so that's another hard hit out for Junior, and there are 2 down.
Well, as I said, Davis Martin has started the season off well. How has he done it? Good pitch mix. 4-seam fastball. He'll throw it up in the zone, similar to Chris Bubich. A really good changeup, cutter, sinker, curve, and slider. And you'll see, not going to blow your doors off with a fastball, but plenty of velo to set up those other off-speed pitches and breaking balls.
Vinny Pasquantino with 2 down. Vinny struck out in his first 2 at-bats last night and then made 2 hard hit outs. If you're looking for signs for certain Royals, especially in the middle of the order, breaking out, 1-1.
That's what you look for. Hitters talk about the controllables, getting on time, good swing path, and ultimately they want to hit the baseball hard. And so you start hitting the ball hard, then you can start moving it around and hitting it where they ain't.
1-2 on Vinny. He is 3 out of 10 in the past against Martin, and 2 of those hits are home runs. With Vinny being the only big league hitter who has more than 1 home run against Davis Martin. Not to be confused with Martin Davis.
I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I may have written it down a couple of times that way already tonight.
Off the end of the bat and pulled on the ground to Mydroff, and the Royals go down in order in the bottom of the first. No score at Kauffman Stadium.
In the U.S. Back at Kauffman Stadium, Joel Goldberg down by the Royals dugout with our University of Kansas Health System injury report update, and the verdict still out on Ryan Bergert. Actually, a couple of elbow injuries here, guys. Bergert left his start with some discomfort in his elbow on Tuesday, went 2 1/3 innings. He has been evaluated here in Kansas City by team Dr. Key. They are waiting now to get him scheduled for a second opinion, and so we'll see what happens with that. Also, Ben Kudrna, the local prospect who's in AAA, came out of his start last Sunday after going just 2 innings with right elbow discomfort as well. The Royals believe, in talking to head trainer Kyle Turner, that this is a different injury than Bergert's, even though both left with elbow discomfort. He has also been seen here by Dr. Key. They are also awaiting a second opinion to be scheduled with the doctor for him. So 2 elbow injuries, 2 different injuries is what I'm being told at this point, but still waiting to find out more.
Well, not good news for the Royals. One of the things we've talked about is their strength is their starting pitching, and on top of that, the depth that they have to their starting pitcher. You already see Stephen Kolek down nursing and coming back from his oblique strain. And now you have Ryan Bergert, who dealt with a little bit of arm issues last season, missing some time with an elbow. So we'd like to get Bailey Falter back and just really see this rotation and bullpen get all pieced back together, because starting pitching, you got 5 you like on day one, you are going to need 6, 7, and possibly 8. And those are 3 additional guys that the Royals will lean on this season.
One and two on Colson Montgomery. He had an RBI double in the 4th inning to score the White Sox first run. Got him to chase, and Bubic strikes out his 3rd.
Well, that's one of the strengths of Kris Bubic. 67% of his strikeouts on fastballs last season were up in the zone, above the zone even. That put him 11th in the league, and so that 4-pitch fastball, or that 4-seam fastball, better said, it's a good one. It's got extra spin, gets good extension, makes it tough for hitters to lay off of it. And you'll see right there the ride got Montgomery chasing.
Ball one on Acuna. He drove in the White Sox 2nd run last night with a 7th inning sacrifice fly. He's a dynamic player who could play both in the outfield and on the infield. He's in center field now, and he came up in the Rangers organization, but was part of a couple of trades since then that involves some high-profile players. Slice to the corner. Caglione is there. So Bubic has a much quicker 2nd inning, which is 8 pitches and no score. New for this year, a winner will be announced during every single home game in the Royals 50-50 raffle. So 81 winners means 81 chances for you to win. We're at 5,400 right now with plenty of time to go. Half of the proceeds go to the Kansas City Royals Foundation and their mission, and half goes to you. You can always play here at Kauffman Stadium or online at royals.com/5050. Salvador Perez, Carter Jensen, and Michael Massey in the Royals second after Davis Martin got the Royals in order in the first. 0-2. 1-2 on Salvi. He was 0 for 3 last night. He was hit by a pitch on the foot in his first plate appearance. 12 home runs shy of tying George Brett for the Royals record, but only 3 to tie George's record for home runs here. Still 1-2.
This next home run will also be one more than George Brett ever hit in Vivid Grape. So chasing down lots of records against George.
A lot of records are going to be set tonight.
There are.
That's to the gap in right center field and down. A good looking 2-strike swing for Salvi.
Well, I think this is a good sign for Royals fans and the Royals offense. Salvi right now with 2 strikes decides he's going to shorten up, not going to try to pull or yank something hard, but able just to get through the ball. Only 91-mile-an-hour exit velocity. Just wanted to shoot it into the outfield. Does a very nice job. That's a good 2-strike swing, and one that we might want to see more often from him and from the Royals hitters, trying to stay out of that strikeout column tonight.
Carter Jensen is the DH tonight. He had 1 at bat late in the game last night in the 8th inning. One and one. Two balls, 1 strike. We hope later in the game tonight we'll have a chance to allow Carter Jensen to explain his pre-pitch routine. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last night we had Bobby Witt Jr. in an interview that he did before the game talk about what he does in between pitches, that trademark big deep breath and staring at some part of his bat to reset himself in between pitches. That's a swing. Marvin Hudson says so. Carter does not agree.
Well, that's the bread and butter for Davis Martin. It's the changeup to lefties. It's his biggest weapon against them. You saw him trying to cut a few pitches backdoor. Bobby Witt Jr. was in favor of that being a check swing. Marvin Hudson unfortunately disagrees, and you'll continue to see that. This lineup has lefties up and down. Martin will go cutter backdoor. You see right there, misses in with the cutter, but likes to set up the soft. Well, his changeup's not particularly soft. You'll see it's about 89, 90 miles per hour, but has good depth and good movement.
Fouled away. Michael Massey batting with 1 on, 1 out, with a much different stance.
Oh yeah, look at that. You got to see the hands extended. You talked a little bit about the Japanese hitter doing it, but this right here for Michael Massey, a little bit more hunched over, hands out, more comfortable. It's really about movement for him. Getting comfortable, better movement with his hands back and loading and getting through the baseball. He works tirelessly on his craft, always trying to find the way to get better and improve, and this offseason identified working with different people to determine how best could he put the best swing on a baseball.
Yeah, and some of his decisions were not based just on a swing, but just the movement of the body, the physical movement of the body, forward momentum, and body parts all working in unison.
Well, as little as I know about hitting, I know one thing: if you feel good and comfortable and you're moving athletically, you have a much better chance. That goes for pitching and fielding to go as well, but Michael Massey is all about getting comfortable and putting the right swing on the baseball.
A shot and a double play. So the Royals send just 3 to the plate in the scoreless 2nd inning. Rally House rally cam, and with the sunset right now, it's putting off a hue that almost matches the vibrant grape.
Well, there's plenty of inspirations for it. Sunset is certainly one of them. Good sunsets here in Kansas City and throughout the Midwest. Heartland, if you will.
Tanner Murray leads off. Bubic is 5 out of 8 now in first pitch strikes. No balls, 2 strikes on Murray. Came over from Tampa Bay and made his big league debut about 5 days ago. He is 0 for 5. And just a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, he was the Rays minor league defensive player of the year. He's in left field tonight. 1-2.
I'll tell you what, he made a play last start for Davis Martin that was spectacular. Bases loaded, spinning play up the middle, something Bobby Witt Jr. does often, and was able to get Davis out of a jam.
And he was overmatched by fastballs in that at bat. And that's number 4 for Bubic.
Well, you said it, Ryan. 5 of 8 first pitch strikes. He's able to get ahead. And what he's done well tonight is he's gone up and away with the pitch before. When he gets to 2 strikes, you've seen him waste a pitch up there. He's come back with cutter or slider. This time comes back fastball. So he's messing with the eyesight of these hitters. He's trying to get them thinking up and then throwing something off a very similar. He's tunneling his pitches and able to finish them.
Strike 1 on Derek Hill.
Oh, I was going to mention one other thing about the unis that I like. The belts. If you notice the belts tonight, they have the crowns on the belts. You'll see them on the hitters. Both Salvi and Bubic are wearing them, but if you get a little view of that, it's a nice touch as well. And you see the gradient color scheme around it, the 50 on it, show belt, as they call it. That's the company that makes them. It just looks, it's a nice touch with the socks, the hat, the whole uni.
0-2. We were talking before the game about the uniforms, and I said I hadn't seen somebody in the full uniform yet. And you pull out your phone and there's a picture of you in the uniform.
I was in Major League Baseball offices last summer and happened to stumble into the consumer products area. Borderline strike there. And someone said, hey, what do you think about your upcoming uniforms? And so I sent a picture over to one of the friends at the Royals, and they said, how do you have that jersey on? I said, well, your secret is safe with me, and I've been good to my word, not said anything about it until last night.
Good fastball for Bubic to strike out Murray and now Hill.
Well, back-to-back fastballs, and he's not throwing any trickery at him, just coming at him hard. 92 miles per hour, inner third, but just beats Derek Hill with that pitch.
So Bubic strikes out 5 of the first 9, including Mydroth, who took a 2-2 pitch for ball 3, and then Salvi asked for a challenge, and it was overruled for a strikeout. One and one.
And this is the Chris Bubic that the Royals saw in his first start. And last start he was good, just kind of got into trouble with 2 outs. He's looked a lot more aggressive, a lot more confident tonight.
Ouch.
We talked about that changeup from Bubic. It often has cutting action, so a right-handed hitter who gets a changeup is going to be out in front, and as it cuts towards them, a lot of times they'll bring their hands towards their body, which creates a lot of foul balls right off that front foot.
He got hit 3 times by that foul ball. He's got a pretty good fastball this inning, and he goes with a slider in the dirt. That is a swing, and Bubic strikes out the side on 12 pitches. He has struck out 6 of 10.
All right, Tim.
Being honored tonight with the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat is Tyler Huffman, a United States Marine who has been deployed to Japan, Thailand, the Philippines, and Korea. And in 2010, while deployed in southern Afghanistan, Tyler was shot through the chest, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. And through the support of the Gary Sinise Foundation, Tyler became the first veteran to receive a specially adapted mortgage-free custom home. And he got a huge ovation, standing ovation, when he was announced on the video board.
As well he should. I think it hits home even more at this time as the country's at war. You think about that, just the sacrifice and what Tyler means to this country and to so many people who he's a hero for.
Acuna comes over to bail out Murray for the out. So there's the check. And the Gary Sinise Foundation mission is to support veterans, first responders, wounded heroes and their families.
Oh, what a blessing. People doing incredible things in the world and in this community.
Shallow left and near the line, and that's going to drop for Collins. He's digging for second, and he's trying to get around the tag, but he is out.
You can understand why he was going for two. Soft, lazy fly ball into shallow left field, but Tanner Murray did a nice job, came in hustling. He's a shortstop by trade, so he's got a quick, good, accurate arm. Collins saw it there, recognized it was going to drop in. Tries to stretch out, get a double, get into scoring position. I've seen a couple of slides in the last two series where the runners have got caught up in the dirt.
And it turns into a 5-pitch inning as Isbell fouls out to third.
In theaters now.
There's still time to get Royals season tickets for 2026 with options for every schedule and every budget. You can choose a traditional plan or go flexible. And you can secure yours at royals.com/season tickets. Fans tonight got a City Connect flag as a giveaway. And I tell you, a lot of the fans got here early tonight and went to the team store, and plenty of jerseys already out there, some caps. I see City Connect beanie. Bubic takes care of it himself to get Vargas for out number 1 in the 4th inning.
I gave my daughter one of the beanies last night. She loves it. Her favorite color is pink, so she thought it was perfect. There's plenty of gear. Go and find it right there. Team shops throughout the stadium are locked and loaded, stocked, ready for you to come on in. They got stuff for everybody too. The ladies, tumbler. I love the new logo. Well, it's the new of the old. I like the throwback logo that they chose.
Yeah, and that video that Joel presented at the top of the broadcast really detailed the deep thought that went into every detail of the colors, the logo, and and the first question I got is like, why those colors? And I remind people, look at the sign when you go into the airport and the sign when you leave the airport. And anytime you see a City of Kansas City sign of some sort with the fountain logo, it's these colors. And if you're driving down 435 and you're going west on the south side, there is a fountain structure basically, and it's the same colors. And so, at least for me, when I knew we were going to go to this year, that's all I see now when I go to the airport.
I'm the same way. I asked the same question, why these colors? And Murakami's been baffled by a couple of those sliders. 2 times now he's gone down looking on the same slider from Chris Bubic. Got ahead of him with it again, tried to get him to chase it. Murakami thinking maybe he's going to come up and in with the fastball. Fools him once again with the slider. And I asked that same question, and I'm just like you. Every time I drive to the airport, I see the signage, I see the colors, and it makes sense. And that's really the beauty of this. It's not something that the Royals just threw together, but so much time and thought, and every little detail is connected to Kansas City and its rich history. And so as fans learn more about it, see it more often, I'm certain this will be as popular, if not more popular, than even the first version of the City Connect,
which was very popular and somewhat conservative. The other 29 teams were a little more bold with their City Connect jerseys with the colors and the logos, and so that's the direction that the Royals pivoted this time around. Right to Junior, and Bubic has another quick inning. That is 9 pitches to get the White Sox in the top of the 4th.
Excitement.
Flashback on this date, and the Royals had a brand new record holder for a hitting streak. Whit Merrifield with this bunt against the Seattle Mariners made it 31 in a row going back to the previous season. No score, bottom of the 4th inning. The Royals have 2 hits. The White Sox have just a walk in their first 4 innings against Chris Bubich.
Yeah, 52 pitches. And most importantly, finishing off those 1, 2, 3 innings very well thus far.
Michael grounded out to short his first time up. Davis Martin has faced the minimum. The Royals got a leadoff single in the 2nd inning, and then that inning ended with a double play on a rocket off the bat of Michael Massey, but right to the first baseman Murakami. And then in the 3rd inning, Collins singled and was out, trying to stretch it into a double. Line to right. And Michael is on again.
Well, so far tonight, 2 base hits, solid base hits to right center field. One by Salvador Perez, this time by Michael Garcia. And these are signs of life that this offense desperately needs. Want to see them now put together a full inning, take the same approach throughout. See if Bobby can shoot a ball into right field, move Garcia all the way to 3rd, get the merry-go-round going.
Into the left field corner, and fair and up against the wall. Michael is around 3rd, and he will score to give the Royals a 1-0 lead.
Well, I wanted the ball to right center field, but I think we'll all settle for an RBI double into the left field corner by Junior right there. Tremendous break by Michael Garcia. He was off and running, knew that ball was either going to be just barely fair or foul. No need to worry about any catch by Murray. Inner 3rd, Bobby Witt Jr. does it as well as anybody. Pulls his hands in, able to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball. Just watch Michael Garcia wheel around.
First pitch changeup, and 0-1 on Vinny. He grounded out to 2nd in the 1st inning. That's well hit to right. It's going to be caught by Hill. Junior scrambles back to 2nd to tag, and then he goes diving into 3rd to advance 90 feet.
Well, that ball was scalded by Vinny Pasquantino. And how many times do you see a runner, if he misreads it, just give up on the play, give himself up, go back to 2nd base, but never Junior. Takes 2 quick steps thinking the ball might get down, realizes quickly that it won't. Hustles back and still able to make it into 3rd base. It's Bobby baseball for you.
Popped up with the infield in, and Mydroth really took charge, running in front of Murakami, and Junior's at 3rd with 2 down.
Martin does a nice job right there. Knows Salvi will be aggressive. Tries to see if he can stretch it off the plate with the breaking pitch, and does exactly that.
Let's see if Carter can pick him up. That's ruled a swing. Carter struck out on a changeup on less than a full swing in the 2nd inning, and that's Martin's only strikeout. And that's bounced foul, 0-2. Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 things for Bobby after beginning the year without an extra base hit for 11 games. He has a double in 3 straight games. And now he has a 23-game hitting streak against the White Sox. Good take there. 2-2.
Well, you know Bobby's going to keep hitting. So we've said it all season long. Don't worry about Bobby. He's proving that to be exactly what he has been throughout his young career. And you see Davis Martin here trying to set up that changeup. Went fastball up, back-to-back changeups. He wants to get these lefties out front, either soft contact or swing and miss.
This is his first full count. And Carter pops it up to the left side. And it's going to be Vargas. So Royals had a chance to add on after Junior's RBI double, but Martin bears down and gets a couple of pop-ups.
Yes, ground advantage.
Wow, look at that sunset. The Rally House Rally Cam has been the broadcast MVP so far.
It sure has. Look at these views are just spectacular on the crisp Friday night.
I can go back to the days when if you were ever going to get a shot like that, it was either going to come from a blimp or a helicopter. And there's just a little drone out there about the size of a laptop computer providing those incredible shots. Collins races back and it's going to sail over his head. And right after the Royals take the lead, Lenin Sosa gets the White Sox first hit.
Well, he does a nice job. It's a breaking pitch down in the zone. Goes down and gets it. Bubic has been getting ahead of guys on that first pitch strike, and just Sosa able to drive that one.
And now he scans the outfield as Colson Montgomery comes up. Broken bat, and Junior's got it. So no advance, and Colson is 0 for 2. Bubic only allowed a walk in the first 4 innings. And he struck out 7 of the first 12 White Sox hitters tonight. Acuna flied out to right in the 2nd inning. One and 0. White Sox got Acuna from the Mets. this past offseason, sending Luis Robert to New York. And if you believed everything that was being written, the White Sox have been trying to trade him for a long time. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Some breakdowns with Luis Robert and the White Sox. At times they questioned his effort in game and felt like he was a player that they wanted to move on from, and they were able to cash it in with a really nice trade.
Hard sweeper, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he's been not only traded for Luis Robert, but Luis Angel has been traded for Max Scherzer. That's how he went from the Rangers to the Mets.
Well, quite a feather in your cap to be traded for a future Hall of Famer.
He is the younger brother of Ronald Acuna Jr., which makes him a cousin of Michael Garcia. Michael and Bobby are talking about defensive alignment in between pitches here. 2-2.
Well, fastball up and away. You think of it sometimes as a hitter, as you're watching, as a waste pitch, but with as much movement as Bubic has with his sweeper and his slider backdoor, he can throw a ball out of that same window and have it come back for a strike.
Massey goes out and makes the catch. 2 down in the 5th inning. Yeah, explain that. That's a term, a waste pitch. I mean, you don't want to waste a pitch, right? Do you want it to be a competitive looking pitch, or will you deliberately go way out of the strike zone just to change the eye level?
Well, it depends. There was an interview with Paul Skeens just recently, and he talked about the idea of, can I set up the next pitch? And so what you do is, it might look like a waste, but you're trying to get the hitter to see the ball coming out of a particular location. They call it tunneling. So a fastball up and away for Chris Bubic at that angle is actually the exact same release point and looks the same for about a third or half of the distance to home plate as an away fastball, but now it's a slider or a sweeper and it comes back into the strike zone. So it's a waste pitch in the sense that you're not going to get a result very often. Sure, the hitter might swing at an up and away fastball, but not very likely. But you're trying to get him out on that very next pitch. So it's almost like you're giving him, you're throwing 2 pitches to try to get the result that you want.
Murray's had a tough time with Bubic's fastball. No balls, 2 strikes. So you're hoping when you go to the breaking ball, the hitter just gives up on it because he thinks it's another fastball up and away.
Well, that's exactly right. And these pitchers with elite stuff, that's exactly what happens. Paul Skeens can throw a sinker off the plate 12 inches. So right there, it's the opposite direction. Goes slider backdoor and then throws the hard stuff up in the zone.
Flight.
think your breath is always a good one. Just kind of trying to, something for me, like when I'm in my load, I always take an inhale, and then on the swing I try to exhale and just kind of get rid of that tension. You know, going to your free throw analogy, one of the things my dad always taught me was, he's like, if you look at the guys that shoot 90% from the free throw line, they do the same thing every time. You know, they don't dribble it once the first shot and then 2 times the second, so it's always, they stick with the routine, and I think that's the main thing. I don't think it matters necessarily what you do, it's just, is it consistent?
Every hitter has a reason behind what they do in between pitches.
Well, it's about preparation and developing a routine, and by the time you get to the major leagues, you've developed your routine, because if you haven't, like Michael says, you're not going to have the consistency that's required to get to this level. I think it's valuable what he said. It's not necessarily what you do, but it's the consistency with which you do it, and having intent behind it. Obviously, if you're going to do it, you should have a reason for it. So when he says it doesn't matter what you do, so long as you have a reason behind it.
Hill makes a play in right field, and Massey hit the daylights out of it in his first at-bat, but unfortunately right into the glove of the first baseman Murakami, who then went to first for a double play. Royals scored their run last inning on Bobby Witt Jr.'s double, driving in Michael Garcia. Jack Caglione flied to center in his first at-bat, and that's hit hard to the gap and slicing, but it's going to get down past Murray. Caglione's at second base with 1 out.
Well, how strong is Jack Caglione? 110 miles per hour to the left center field gap. 5 hits for the Royals tonight. 3 of them to the opposite field. They're seeing the ball deeper in the zone. They're also able to drive that pitch. Look at that swing. Textbook from Cags. And the Royals got themselves a 1-out double.
And to stay back on a changeup like that, instead of being out in front trying to pull it.
Well, exactly right. It's the approach. If you're trying to do that, you can do it sometimes on a fastball well, but once a pitcher throws you something different, an off-speed pitch, you see right there, that'll just add to that average exit velocity, hard hit rate as well. But it's when the pitch speed varies and goes down that hitters often will roll that top hand over. Caglione right there stayed all the way through it. When they talk about staying through the baseball, it's keeping that trajectory, swinging that bat towards the left center field gap and keeping the hands out in front of the barrel.
Isaac Collins singled up the left field line in the 3rd inning and tried to stretch it into a double, but Murray in left, and we were just telling you that he was an outstanding defensive player in the Rays minor league system. Jeremy was telling you about a great play he made on the infield. Made a really good play throwing out Collins at second base. And now Isaac is down for a strikeout, and Caglione's at second with 2 away.
Well, it tells you how good the changeup is from Martin. Isaac Collins is known for contact. It's one of the things the Royals were attracted to, his ability to make contact with it. But Martin now 9 pitches this inning, all of them for strikes. I think he's scared to go out and get ahead of a hitter. Not showing that one bit.
Cutter for a strike on Isbell. He fouled out to third in the 3rd inning. Isbell hits it hard, but that will be an out, and the Royals have now gone 0 for their last 28 with a runner in scoring position.
fountain.
Kansas City Royals baseball is presented by Circa Sports and Properties and by your local Kansas City Honda dealers. Chris Bubic has struck out 8 on a cool night at Kauffman Stadium. He is one shy of his career high.
With his stuff tonight, I would be shocked if he doesn't get that career high and then some.
He struck out Derek Hill in the 3rd inning with a fastball. And Hill fouls it away. Bubic has given up 1 hit, and that 1 hit was a leadoff double in the 5th inning. Then he got a soft line out, a pop out, and a strikeout. And Sosa, who hit the double, never got to 3rd. Hill had asked for time and is messing with something in his eye. He was a Tigers first-round pick in 2014. He got his first big league hit against the Royals in 2020. But he has had all kinds of problems staying healthy. He went on the injured list 4 times last year with the Marlins. And in parts of 5 big league seasons, he's been on the injured list 9 times, including having Tommy John surgery, which is somewhat rare for a position player.
Well, part of a big league career is finding a way to stay on the field. Sometimes easier said than done.
2-1. Fastball right by him. 2-2. Bubic struck out 9 last June against the Tigers. On the ground right side and through for a base hit. A good looking swing with 2 strikes. And Hill is on to begin the 6th inning.
Well, the base hit right there by Derek Hill, but Chris Bubic tonight, 8 strikeouts. You saw the graphic below. 4 of them on the sweeper and the slider, and 4 on the fastball. Those 2 pitches are playing off one another very well. He's tunneling them and setting them up each and every time. Murakami twice went down looking. Plenty of chase up in the zone, something Bubic is accustomed to.
Chase Mydroth has struck out on that pitch twice. Looking at a slider in the 1st inning and then swinging at a slider in the 3rd. Salvi down to 1st. Hill started to go towards 2nd and didn't like his jump, so he hit the brakes, and Salvi thought he had a shot to get him returning to 1st base.
Well, and you can see why Chris Bubic did a slide step on that pitch right there, so Hill threw on the brakes, recognizing he was not going to be able to get to 2nd base on a good throw.
1-2 on Mydroth.
So Mydroth back-to-back sliders back door. If Bubic stays with the pattern today, it's their fastball up, but he's also got swing and miss changeup.
Bubic has a career high with 9 strikeouts, has done that 5 times, the last of which was against the Tigers last June. And now he's done it 6 times. And he's got Mydroth 3 times, all with the slider.
Well, they gave him the slider in the zone, a couple of chances to hit it. If you don't get it in play, I'm going to throw it below the zone. This one perfectly located for a hitter that's shown that he's going to swing at the pitch. You just go lower than low. 9 strikeouts. Certainly a chance to get into double digits for the first time.
And a pretty manageable overall pitch count with that many strikeouts.
Yeah, he's done a very good job. That's all about attacking the hitter, keeping that pitch count down, manageable.
Hill went on first movement, and so that's a stolen base, and that was more on Bubic than Salvi.
Well, part of stealing bases is picking the right timing to do it. Bubic was very aware of Hill the previous at-bat. Gets a strikeout of Mydroth, and maybe this one a little bit higher lay kick, slower delivery to home plate. Derek Hill was all over it. Got a jump that allowed him to slide in safely. Also got a good pitch to throw on a breaking pitch down below the zone. Tougher for Salvi to catch and throw.
Vargas grounds it out to Junior. 2 outs with Hill at second base.
Well, one of the things last year that made Chris Bubic an all-star and so effective was his ability to pitch with runners on base, and especially with less than 2 outs. So that means you get whether it's a leadoff double or a single. He held hitters to a 183 average. And so that's one way to stop a rally from happening is, can you pitch well once a guy reaches? Twice we've seen it tonight thus far. Trying to get out of this 6th inning unscathed.
Murakami's had a bad time with that slider tonight. Bubic had a long first inning, but man, not too much trouble since then.
Absolutely 2 single-digit. In reality, if I had a pitch count of 14 or less in an inning, I felt like that was a success. Bubic has done that 4 of 5 innings this tonight. So very effective. You got to have very good stuff to do it, and that's exactly what he has.
Well, Murakami's in the same boat as Mydroth, having struck out in his first 2 at-bats on sliders. Looking both times. He was swinging at that one.
Well, I imagine he'll be swinging at this one too, regardless of where it is. I wouldn't be surprised to see a fastball up, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a slider out of the zone either.
Salvi keeps it in front of him.
You see Bubic frustrated right there. He knew if it was a more competitive pitch, it was very likely to get a swing from Murakami. That one just too short of the plate, too low. Didn't really give it a chance for Murakami to go and chase it.
Foul tip and a strikeout, and that is a career high. 10 strikeouts for Chris Bubic. Chris Bubic had struck out 9 for a career high 5 times. So he got right to the edge. And tonight he goes over the edge and he strikes out 10 for the first time in his career. And that means You save big. That's every time the Royals get 10 or more strikeouts. You can get a free item tomorrow now at Price Chopper, and that's every time the Royals strike out 10 or more. Michael Garcia is a true leadoff man tonight. This is his third at bat. All three have been leading off the inning. He is 1 for 2 with a leadoff single in the 4th inning, and Bobby Witt Jr. got him home with a double. 1 ball, 1 strike, and he's leading off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Bethany Samuelson from St. Joe. Bunting, but back to the mound, and Martin throws him out. Michael was trying to get that over to the third baseman Vargas.
Well, not a great bunt, but a good idea, in my opinion. Something to try and get Davis Martin out of the windup. He's been throwing a lot of strikes. You see the frustration from Garcia there. You never want to waste that bat, and sometimes when you bunt it right back to the pitcher, you probably feel like that, but the idea was there, and it's just a way to unselfishly try to get the Royals offense something to work with.
Junior lined to right in the 1st inning, and then he pulled a double for an RBI into the left field corner in the 4th. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that extended his hitting streak against the White Sox to 23 games. One and 2.
Well, Ryan,
yes,
that
Jeremy.
double by Bobby Witt Jr. is tonight's rally house moment that matters. Crushing that ball into the left field corner and cashing in the only run of the night thus far. Making 3 straight with a double for Bobby Witt Jr. All the talk of the power outage, suddenly getting a power surge. How about getting into that home run category? We wouldn't mind seeing one of those from number 7 either.
Acuna didn't see it right away because of the twilight, but his second baseman Mydroth was right on it to bail him out.
What a nice job by Mydroth. Goes out there, doesn't assume anything. A lot of times when infielders go back into the outfield, they just anticipate the outfielder calling them off. He has no idea that Luis Angel doesn't see the ball either, so he's going for that ball, anticipating the center fielder calling him off, but it never happens. Was in great position to make a tough play.
Benny is 0 for 2. He is grounded out to second and lined to right. Hitting 176, which isn't much consolation right now, but 2 years ago he didn't get an RBI until his 11th game and finished with 97 in basically 4.5 months. And after 30 games last year, he hit 177. So he's been here before. And now he hits that ball hard. And Hill makes a diving play in right field.
Well, Derek Hill takes one away from Vinny with a spectacular play. Coming in hard, diving 101 off the bat. And another great defensive play by the White Sox. Tonight's Whataburger What a Play is compliments of Derek Hill, right fielder for the White Sox, coming in hard. The toughest play to make is the one right at you. And he steals a base hit away from Vinny Pasquantino. Great defense all night behind Davis Martin.
And Martin has done his part by being a strike machine. He's thrown 68 pitches in 6 innings, 50 strikes. So his defense should be on their toes.
74% strikes. Hitters have to be on their toes. Ball can be put in play at any given time, and that's what you get working behind a pitcher throwing strikes. Chris Bubic doing very much the same on his end.
And with one pitch, he gets one out to begin the 7th inning as Carroll flies to center. Bubic struck out Murakami for the last out of the 6th inning to give him 10 for the first time in his career.
Career high 10, double digits. The key for him has been the fastball slider combo today. Hasn't even relied as much on his changeup, which is one of his best swing and miss pitches. He's done it with tunneling the breaking ball and the heater up. Take a look at his mix tonight. See right there, almost 40% four-seam fastballs. Sweeper, slider, very similar pitches. So we'll call that another 38% right there, and then complements that with a few changeups, a couple of two-seamers. And we got 6 scoreless innings for Bubic.
Sosa doubled against Bubic leading off the 5th. That'll be out of play. And that was right after the Royals scored their run in the 4th inning, but Sosa never got to 3rd as Bubic retired the next 3.
Well, did an excellent job of stopping things right there for the offense of the White Sox. Pitching very effectively with Sosa at second base.
Hit sharply right to Junior. 2 down. Here's a message from UMB Private Wealth.
Am I saving enough for retirement?
Should I get more nachos?
Do I have a clear financial plan?
Get financial clarity. Schedule an appointment today.
Colson Montgomery with 2 down. That hurts every night, and especially on a cold night.
Take a look at it right here. Fastball. Ooh, top of the foot. I've never hit a ball off my foot, so I can't speak, but top of the foot seems better than off the toes, but not quite sure. What do you think, Rhino? You've probably done that a couple time or two.
Yeah, it was probably about 40 years ago, but now you know what HUD would tell you.
What would HUD tell us?
If you want to know what that feels like, go into your garage, grab a hammer, and hit yourself in that spot as hard as you can, and then you'll know what that feels like.
Okay, so you're gonna have to hit yourself twice then to know which one hurts more, the top or on the toes. And if you want to get the inside of the foot, you can do that. And if it hurts too much on one, just hit the other. See Colson trying to, almost seems like he's moving his feet as much as he can, keep him going. The blood flowing down there.
Now, you would pitch him down and in again, right? I mean,
well,
he's thinking about it already.
You know, that's a funny thing you bring up. I felt like the moment a hitter hit a ball off his leg or foot against me, the higher his average was against me. I didn't have the solution to get him out, but Chris Bubic has the solution. 11 punch-outs, a career high thus far.
Excitement.
Kansas City Royals baseball is presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. And by FanDuel Sportsbook, play your game. And play your game, Chris Bubich, who got the attaboy from Matt Quatrero. He has tied a career high in innings for the 11th time, but this is the first time that he's had more than 9 strikeouts in his start, and he has 11. So the bullpen will take over in the 8th inning with the Royals trying to add on. They have 1 run, 5 hits. Salvi pulls it on the ground to short, and Montgomery boots it and has time. And Salvi is 1 for 3. Let's go to Joel.
Well, Ryan, we talk so much about players making adjustments, and I think a lot of us wondered, how would the league adjust to Carter Jensen? How would he adjust back? And he said what he's noticed, he said, I've always been able to hit the hard stuff, the fastballs, the cutters. I'm seeing a lot more curveballs and changeups and splits. He said they're making that adjustment to me. He said the scouting report last night on Jordan Leisure, who he faced in the 8th inning, and he saw that one just fine, didn't he?
Great timing, Joel.
Well, that one went better than last night as Carter is making those adjustments, hitting his 4th home run of the season. And for Carter, guys, he said that, and it's really interesting, he said the scouting report is one thing. Jordan Leisure last night had 3% splits, and he threw him 2 splits that struck him out. He said, I need to start thinking like a catcher and doing a scouting report on myself. How would I pitch myself to get me out, make the adjustments, and do the damage I can?
I think that's a very wise thought for a young catcher. How would I pitch myself? And a lot of fans ask, why aren't catchers the best hitters on the team? And I don't really have a good explanation, but the way that he's thinking already as a young catcher and a hitter shows that he's wise beyond his years. And more times than not, I think if he's thinking like a catcher, he might find himself guessing and thinking the right way, as he did right there. That was a cutter in from Davis Martin. You said, Goldie, that he can hit the hard fastballs and cutters, and that he did.
Low strike on Massey. 2 balls, 1 strike. Massey is lined to first into a double play and fly to right. And that's hit hard. So Massey has swung the bat well tonight. He'll take an aggressive turn, and he's on his way to second base. And he's in there with a hustling double, beating an offline throw by Acuna.
Well, hustle double by Michael Massey. Let's go back to the home run by Carter Jensen. Cutter inside 3rd of the dish. Easy on the toe, soft landing, quick hands, and you know he's got the pop. You see the dugout react to that swing right there. Absolutely smashed into the night. And what a view from the Royals, the Rally House Royals cam right there. Or the rally cam, that is. Unbelievable.
Getting back to Joel's report, being a veteran pitcher and someone who is very observant of the game. 0-2 on Caglione. You ever have a hitter come up to you and say, what do you see? How would you pitch me?
Yeah, I have. You know, hitters would do that all the time. What would you do? And it's a valid question. It's a really good way to open up your mind, both as pitchers. You see right there talking with Noah Cameron, both as pitchers and hitters, sometimes you just get stuck in your own world. You begin to think only as hitters think or only as pitchers think, but that opportunity to learn from each other. Some of the best hitters that I know, that I was around, I know they used to talk to their pitchers all the time, whether it was a Greg Maddux. How do you see? What do you see from me? It really opens up your mind to an approach.
That'll bounce away and get Massey to third. You bring up Greg Maddux, and I remember years ago, the late Don Baylor was the hitting coach of the Braves. And Don Baylor and Greg Maddux, Hall of Fame pitcher, were always next to each other in the dugout. And someone asked Don Baylor about Greg Maddux. He said he'd make a great hitting coach someday. And the reporter corrected him and said, you mean pitching coach, right? He said, no, hitting coach. He's not just a good pitcher. He sees things that others don't see. And hitters would come up to him, like you said, and fouled away by Caglione. And what do you see? You know what? And I never forgot that.
Well, it's a good perspective. What does a pitcher do his whole life? He faces hitters. He looks for little advantages. Are they fading? Are they stepping in the bucket, meaning towards the base, behind them? Are they out front? Are their hands getting out in front of their body? And so you're right. I talk with my son sometimes, who's a 15-year-old freshman hitter, and he goes, "Well, you weren't a hitter." And I said, "I know I wasn't a hitter, but I faced thousands of them, and so I know what good ones look like. I don't necessarily know how they get there, but you know a good one when you see it." And Caglione did not see that good backdoor cutter from Martin. Thought he had ball 4. Martin's used that cutter backdoor very nicely tonight. See him just sneaking in there. Reminds me of a story, one of my favorites, Jim Palmer stories. Jim Palmer was talking to our all-star closer that time with the Baltimore Orioles, George Sherrill, and at that time I think he'd blown 2 or 3 saves, and Jim Palmer came up one day and said, "Hey George, let me talk to you." And I heard them just saying a few things, and all I heard from George was, "Yeah, that's fine, Jim, but how many games did you ever close?" And Jim says, "I guess you're right. I never closed a game unless you count the 243 CGs I threw." So Jim Palmer, never a closer, but always a closer by nature of what he did. And Greg Maddux certainly could do it on the mound and had an idea what hitters were doing.
Acuna makes the play on Collins to end the inning with 1 out. Carter Jensen goes deep. Look at Junior in the background. He knew it was gone. The Royals lead 2-0.
The DQ.
Well, I know one member of the Royals who's looking forward to this night. April 20th, Grateful Dead night. Mac Quatraro is a huge Grateful Dead fan. Fans receive a Royals and Grateful Dead co-branded vest with the purchase of a theme ticket, plus enjoy a live performance from the tribute band Better Off Dead at the outfield experience during the pregame. Royals.com/Grateful Dead.
We need to make sure we get Matt Quatraro one of those vests so that he can wear it for BP. We saw how good he looked today in the City Connect. Strom on for his 6th game this season.
Caglione in right field makes the play, and Acuna is 0 for 3. Another look from the Rally House Rally Cam from the left field corner above the Royals Hall of Fame. The grass looks electric, and we'll have fireworks here at Kauffman Stadium after the game, after we do every Friday.
Strom last pitch in a loss on Monday in Cleveland. Excuse me, a win on Monday in Cleveland. Yielded a run in 1 inning.
Vinny angles toward the dugout suite and makes the play. 2 down. Matt Strom began the year with 3 scoreless outings and then gave up 2 against the Brewers before that game you were talking about. He's off to a good start tonight. 2 down for the number 9 hitter, Derek Hill. Hill is struck out. He singled for one of the 2 White Sox hits and made one of the best defensive plays tonight. A diving play on Vinny in the 6th inning and right. 1-1. Broken bat and a play by Bobby Witt Jr. in shallow left field, and Strom makes quick work of the White Sox in the 8th. Here's tonight's Flight by Yingling replay, and a look back at Chris Bubic tonight. He went 7 innings, tying a career high for the 11th time. He struck out 11 for the first time in his career, and he's gotten offense from Bobby Witt Jr.'s RBI double and Carter Jensen's solo home run to right. And the Royals just have 3 outs to go on defense to put this one away. But they will bat in the bottom of the 8th. And that is the first big league pitch thrown by Duncan Davitt, who was born in Des Moines and graduated from Indianola High School, which is about 20 miles south of Des Moines, and went to the University of Iowa.
Just a couple of starts down in Charlotte to begin his 2026 season. Recalled just yesterday. Gets a chance to pitch at the major league level. You see the MLB debut patch on his right shoulder below the Sox logo, and I imagine he might be pitching in front of some family and friends, being from Iowa. Hope they were able to make it down tonight.
Good looking changeup there with a lot of movement.
Yeah, slider changeup so far. We've seen from Davitt. He's certainly going to have a starter's repertoire. Expect a 4 or 5 pitch mix.
When we were in Cleveland this past week, we got to watch the video of your big league debut. He looks pretty calm.
Yeah, I remember a lot of nerves in mine. So pitchers are pretty good at hiding that for the most part. The biggest thing you want to do is you're just trying to throw strikes. That ball feels a little bit different in your hand. A major league ball is constructed differently than a minor league ball. The mound feels a little bit different. Certainly the stadium around you is unique.
Previous call was a ball. The catcher is challenging.
This is just the second challenge, and it was a ball.
The call is confirmed. There's the ball. Chicago has 1 challenge remaining.
So the Royals have their leadoff man on. We remind you, on May 6th, the Guardians are here, and that's our next Bark at the Park, our second. You can enjoy an off-leash tailgate at the Hall of Fame Pavilion. So get you and your dog theme tickets at royals.com/bark. That is not the first time in Major League history that a pitcher making his debut walks the first hitter. That might be the most common outcome.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Let those vibrating legs calm down. Let the racing heart calm down.
You can play a game for 20+ years. And the first time you play it in a big league stadium, it's like a completely different sport or in a completely different arena, in a good way, but it doesn't take too long to get settled in. But there's just something very, very special about playing Major League Baseball, and your debut is something that no player will ever forget.
Michael shoots it up the right field line, foul. I always say, if you're not sure, depending on where you're sitting at the ballpark, about the angle of a line drive up the line, just follow the hitter. The hitter knows. And Michael came bolting out of the batter's box there. So when he first made contact, he thought it was fair.
It was low enough. That's part of it. When a hitter gets a little bit underneath the ball, they know they're going to get a lot more slice to it, but that was hit pretty well on the line.
That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You see nice action on that sweeper by Davitt.
That's a foul ball.
Somebody in Cleveland asked me what I remember about my debut that I made, 22 years ago in Cleveland. One thing that I vividly remember was the sounds of a big league game, and it was the sound off of the bat. The ball hitting the bat sounded so much louder at the major league level, whether it was the stadium and the echo, or whether it was the bats and the balls. Something about it was intimidating in many ways. It just sounded louder, like even foul balls by Michael Garcia. I can imagine that for Davitt, that's a sound that's different than what he heard even in a AAA game.
Hit hard. That made a good sound. And the White Sox turn a double play to help Davitt breathe a little easier. That was 104 off the bat.
I'll tell you another thing you remember as a guy making your debut is the level of defense at the major league level. Montgomery right there with a nice little snag. Starts the double play, and there is the Duncan Davitt contingency. Recording his first 2 career outs, but that was another thing. I looked behind me on a ground ball. I gave up early on in my career, and it was none other than Omar Vizquel making the glove, the play behind me. I'm like, this guy is unbelievable.
Acuna is back. Cold night, the wind is blowing in, and that is an out, and that is a scoreless first big league inning for Duncan Davitt.
It's Miller time.
Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. And on this first night of the new City Connect uniforms, don't forget, you can score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com from official jerseys.
Challenging the ball call.
Royals are going to challenge here. There's those bright jackets we've been wearing tonight. Salvi's right. It just clipped the strike zone.
Calls overturned, the pitch was a strike.
That was the third challenge. The second overturned. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, we've got you covered. MLBshop.com/Royals. Lucas Urseg gets the top of the order. Salvi's on a roll with ABS challenges.
He's been good, one of the best, calling it.
Urseg is 3 out of 3 in save opportunities. Urseg can be a handful, we know that. But Chase Mydroth has never been happier to see Lucas Urseg than in this at-bat here, because he was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against Bubic, all on a Bubic slider.
Urseg gives him a little dose of the slider, obviously a different pitch, this one from the right side. Urseg's fastball averaging 97 miles per hour this season, actually just a touch under 98, and his fastball batting average against is still under 200.
Collins is there in left field, one down in the 9th inning. Miguel Vargas is 0 for 2 with a walk. Down and away. Chris Bubic went 7 and struck out a career high 11. Matt Strahm had a 3 up, 3 down 8th inning. 1-1. 2-1 on Miguel Vargas. Ursag, the former minor league infielder. I don't know if he was using the glove to catch the ball or as a shield, but either way, he gets the out.
Well, he's very athletic. Lucas Ursag, you said, a minor league infielder. Good with the bat. Gets a little matrix on the mound to field that ball right there. Cole Reagans looks on, says, okay, well, that's how you do it, but obviously.
Line to center, and Isbell has it. And the Royals, in under 2 hours, beat the White Sox tonight behind Carter Jensen's home run, Bobby Witt Jr.'s double, and Chris Bubic's 7 scoreless innings with a career-high 11 strikeouts.
Well, credit Chris Bubic. 11 punch-outs in the game under 2 hours. Both he and Davis Martin were really good tonight. Spectacular through strikes, attacked the hitters, a lot of quick outs, and a lot of effective outs, strikeouts, that is, for Chris Bubic.
And so the Royals' 3-game losing streak comes to an end. It wasn't the big offensive game that they wanted, but as you said, Davis Martin was almost as tough as Chris Bubic, but just like the White Sox did last night, 1 run in the 4th and 1 in the 7th. That's exactly what the Royals did tonight. 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th, and now the series is tied at 1 game apiece. So the Royals begin a new era of City Connect uniforms with a win. And speaking of connecting to the city, let's go to Joel, who's with Carter Jensen.
Yeah, who more perfect to connect with the city than the Kansas City and himself. We'll talk about the jerseys in a minute. First off, just the chance to be able to grind out that win in less than 2 hours. What did it mean to you guys?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's good to come back and get on the right side of the win column, and proud of the guys. Bubic pitched an amazing game, so it was a lot of fun.
I know you didn't catch him, but I know you're thinking along with every single pitch. A career high in strikeouts for Chris Bubic, and efficient as well with all those strikeouts. How do you think he did it?
He's amazing. We all knew that he was capable, and it wasn't a surprise to us at all. So a lot of fun watching him pitch, and I'm excited for the next time.
You interrupted my report on the adjustments you're making in the most perfect way by going deep with the home run. What kind of adjustments were you able to make there?
Yeah, it's important. Slow myself down, slow my mind down, and really kind of, I guess, fix.
He's Kansas City tough. He'll be all right. The first ever Salvi splash in the City Connects. You were talking about adjustments before they interrupted you.
Yeah, just making the adjustments, slowing myself down, and putting the bat on the ball. Good things will happen.
All right, last thing. Brand new City Connect uniforms. I don't think I've ever worn this color before. I'll give it to you if you're cold right now. I know you said something before like they're sick or whatever language you were using. What do you think?
No, they're cool. I think they represent the city a lot. Being from here, it's really cool to put this on and see the new jerseys, new uniforms. So I think they have some pop of color, and I think it's a fun thing.
Go warm up. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Carter Jensen, the local kid, getting it done, leading the team with 4 home runs.
And the Royals win it tonight 2-0 in 1 hour and 55 minutes.
Well, I saw Chris Bubic on the flight up to Cleveland. He looked determined, and tonight he was very much a determined pitcher to bounce back from his last outing. He was spectacular, career high in strikeouts.
On the air tomorrow for a late afternoon game at 2:30 for Game 3. For director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Kevin Cedergren, associate producer Sam Abramson, Al Broughton, Sean Van Beesler, and Greg Jansen. The producer of Royals pre and post is John Harvey. For Jeremy Guthrie and Joel Goldberg, this is Ryan Lefevre. Royals postgame, presented by Price Chopper, is next.